Hello and welcome back to this course. Today in this video we will discuss about the access modifiers in Java. So what are access modifiers? Access modifiers in Java helps to restrict the scope of the class, constructor, variable, method or data member. There are 4 access modifiers available in Java. Default, no keyword required. Default means we have to type nothing. Private, protected and public are 3 keywords. Now these are the 4 access modifiers in Java, and these are help us to restrict the scope of the class, constructor, variable or any member. So first of all, let's see what is default access modifier. So when no access modifier is specified for the class, method or data member, it is said to have a default access modifier by default. The data member, class or methods which are not declared using any access modifiers having default access modifier are accessible only within a same package. Now when you type nothing with the class name, method or any member, then that member is considered have a default access modifier, and in default access modifier the members can only be accessed in this same package. If you use the default access modifier, then we can use that member in the same package classes. So this is the default access modifier. Next we have the private access modifier. This private access modifier is specified using the keyword private. The methods or the data members declared as private are accessible only within the class in which they are declared. Any other class of the same package will not be able to access these members. Now the private access modifier is written using the private keyword. We type the private keyword before the function declaration or class or any member of that class, and when we declare something private, that it can only be accessible within the class. We cannot access that member outside that class. We make our member private. So this is the private access modifier. We can only use that member in the same class. This modifier is very important whenever we want to hide our data from the user. We use the private access modifier because we don't want to show any information to the others. So that's why we use the private access modifier. Next we have the third access modifier, which is the protected. The protected access modifier is specified using the keyword protected. The methods or the data members are declared as protected are accessible within the same package or subclasses in different packages. So this is the protected access modifier, which is written by using the protected keyword. So whenever we declare some class, method or data member as protected, then that method, class or member can only be accessed in the same package. But if there is a child class in the other package, then we can access only that subclass from other packages. Otherwise we cannot access any class from the other packages. This is the difference between the default and the protected. In default we can only access the member within a package, but in protected we can access the members within a package, but also we can access the subclasses through the inheritance. We can access that subclasses using the protected access modifier. At the last we have the public access modifier. The public access modifier is specified using the keyword public. This public access modifier has the widest scope among all the access modifiers. Classes, methods or data members which are declared as private are accessible from everywhere in the program. There is no restriction on the scope of the public data members. Now public access modifier is written by using the public keyword, and this modifier has the widest scope among all the access modifiers. When you declare any class, method or any member as public, then that member, class or function can be accessed from anywhere. You can access that member within a class, you can access that member within a package, you can also access that member outside the other package. So when we use the public access modifier, we can use that member anywhere we want. There is no restriction of the scope of the public data members. So these are the 4 access modifiers in Java that help us to make our program more efficient. So let's create a simple program. That means to see that how we can use the access modifiers. So here first of all, in admins you can see that with the outer class we have a class with the public. It means that we can access this class from everywhere, and this is a method which is also public. We can also access this method from anywhere. Now if I just remove this comment from here and I create a class here, first of all, class example. Okay, now if I create a method here, for example, void fun, and in here I type system.out.println, and I type here function for an example. Okay, so now if I just create the object of the example class here, example is equal to new example, and I call the e dot fun. Definitely we can call the fun method because it has default access in that class. Default access means we can access that class in the same package. But if I make this public, definitely we can access that because public member can be accessed anywhere. But if I type here protected like this, then definitely we can access that function here because it is present in the same package. But if I type here private, now I got the error. Fun has private access in example means this function can only be accessed inside the example class. We cannot access this method outside this example class. So this is what we call the private access modifier. So in this way we use the access modifier. We have 4: default, public, private and protected. I have given you a detailed lecture that how these works. So I hope that you understand. I repeat it once again. Any member which is the class, function or any member has public access modifier can be accessed from everywhere. The protected access modifier can be accessed within a package, and also we can access the child classes that are present in the other packages using the protected access modifier. But when we use the private access modifier, we can only access that member in the same class. We cannot access that member outside that class. Like you can see here, the fun method is private there, so I cannot access that in my main method. Fourth one is default. When we declare something default, means we pass nothing. We just type here void fun, that is has default access modifier, and that function or member can be accessed within the same package. So these are the 4 access modifiers that we use to make our program more robust. So I hope that you understand. Now one thing that you have to keep in your mind, that there is only one public class in one file. You can see here access specifier is a public class and the name of this file is also access specifier. We can have only one public class in one file, but we can create many classes as we want without the public. Also, the outer class only be public or default. We cannot write here private or protected. With the outer class, we can only write the public or default. So this is the public class and this is the default class. This means that we can create one public class and many classes that has default access modifier. So this is the point that you have to keep in your mind. So I hope that you understand. So anyhow, if you feel any problem by understanding the access modifiers, you can definitely ask me a question. I am always here to help you. So that's it for this video. I will see you in next video.